All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to be talking about the Dallas Cowboys. Now, when people think about the Cowboys of this past season, they think of specifically the final play of the game against San Francisco, where Zeke just gets manhandled, and it was a crushing defeat. And it's like, okay, on brand with the Dallas Cowboys. Another, good regular season. They went 12-5, but they just couldn't get it done. They fell apart. They crumbled like a day-old cookie in the playoffs. To me, that is not the case for Dallas last season in the slightest. Dallas last year was an extremely injured team. When your quarterback, no matter who your quarterback is, but for the record, it's Dak Prescott, a very good quarterback. When your starting QB misses 5 games and your entire offense in general is crushed by injuries, typically, you're not going to win the Super Bowl. Right? It messes with momentum. It messes with chemistry. The timing gets a little off. Things get discombobulated, right? For me, if Dallas this upcoming season, if their offensive line can stay healthy, and if Dak Prescott is healthy, I have no reason to believe why the Dallas Cowboys should not be a team that is in the Super Bowl conversations. I just don't know why they wouldn't, especially on paper. The team's completely loaded. I think people forget Dak Prescott is 1 year removed from throwing 37 touchdowns, just 10 interceptions, and 4,500 total yards while throwing for a career high 68.8 completion percentage. So Dak Prescott is one hell of a quarterback. Still commanded Dallas last season to an 8-4 record in those 12 games that he played. But when you miss, a chunk, when you miss 25% of the regular season, things just fall out of order. But Dallas has a top 5 defense and they have a top 5 offense. I don't know why they shouldn't be Super Bowl contenders this upcoming season. Before we get into today's video, if you guys enjoy it, be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. This is actually my first ever Cowboys video I've ever made. So Cowboys fans, if we could try and get this video to 100 likes, that would mean the world to me. If you want more Cowboys videos, let me know down below. Moving down the depth chart, Tony Pollard, Deuce Vaughn, new addition Deuce Vaughn, Malik Davis. I know the concern is pass blocking, but just, real quick on paper, CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb and I are the same age. He's 24 years old. The dude is a literal star wide receiver. I think people kind of think he's like 28 years old, 29 years old, and he's not special. He's quite special. New addition, Brandon Cooks, which is a great move, especially if there are some injury hiccups like there were last season. Michael Gallup. If Michael Gallup can stay healthy, watch out. It just comes down to if he can stay healthy. But I like some of the deep depth that they have. Jalen Tolbert, who had a nice touchdown catch the other day, pretty quiet rookie season. But in his last year at Southern Alabama in 2021, he had 82 catches, 1,500 yards, 8 touchdowns. He averaged 18 yards per catch. So he joins an already loaded offense. New addition, Luke Schoonmaker. Tight end room, Jake Ferguson. He had a great grab early on in the game in the first preseason game against Jacksonville. I just like what they have on offense, and they only got better. You have Tony Pollard, you have Deuce Vaughn now, you have Brandon Cooks coming on over, Luke Schoonmaker. Their offense got better, their defense got better. These guys got some big names. Brandon Cook, Stephon Gilmore, Mozzie Smith, the rookie. These are guys who are going to have huge impacts on this team. And just a real quick comment on Stephon Gilmore. I think people completely forgot how good he is based on his last 2 seasons. He had a really good year last year with Indianapolis, but ever since he left New England, I think people kind of forgotten about him. Well, they'll be reminded of him in this upcoming season. But I want to talk a little bit about Deuce Vaughn, because Deuce Vaughn is a guy who led college football last year in total yards from scrimmage with 1,936 yards, 12 total touchdowns. He had almost 1,600 rushing yards. He had almost 400 receiving yards. He's getting flamed for his height, 5'6". Darren Sproles was essentially Deuce Vaughn's height, and he had an extremely long and successful NFL career. We saw Deuce Vaughn showcase what he is capable of in the Cowboys' first preseason game. Keep in mind, Deuce Vaughn is not RB1. They don't need Deuce Vaughn to come in here and be the starting running back. That's why you have Tony Pollard. Now, while I understand some of the pass protection concerns with the running back position, that's why you have the offensive line that you have, which is, when healthy, by far top 10. I mean, it's a great offensive line when they're all healthy. There are some concerns with depth offensive tackles or just depth offensive linemen in general. But the point is, you don't need Deuce Vaughn to be this crazy stud in his rookie season. What I am expecting from Deuce Vaughn is kind of similar to what we saw in his first preseason game, where he comes in here. Like, think about that San Francisco game, right? Where Dallas was struggling to run the ball. They were struggling to put points on the board. They were struggling. They only had one touchdown the entire game. They were struggling to put momentum and just gain, move the chains, right? They were just struggling on offense. Deuce Vaughn's a guy I can come in here, see and get a running back screen, takes it down to the 20-yard line, and it's like that. It's that momentum boost. These are playmakers. They're X factors. I think Deuce Vaughn could actually be an X factor for this team in his rookie year. Think about that 26-yard run that he had in the end of the second half, where he's got insane speed. He has insane vision. I get some height issues. Like, if Dak overthrows guys, well, it's going to be a lot harder or easier to overthrow a guy who's 5'6". But you're going to be able to put him in checkdowns. You're going to get him screens where he's going to be able to make an impact outside of just rushing the football. He can catch, he can run, he has phenomenal vision. But I really think Deuce Vaughn, guys like Deuce Vaughn, I'm thinking about Tolbert on this team, slated in as wide receiver 4. These are guys who could have, even if we're talking like 500 total yards from scrimmage, 600 total yards from scrimmage, they could make big time impacts in big time games, which is what Dallas really needs. But honestly, guys, at the end of the day, it comes down to health. I really think it comes down to health. I know you can say it about a lot of football teams last season specifically. There were a bunch of injuries in the league last year, it felt like, but Dallas was severely injured. And when your quarterback misses games, it throws everything off. It throws every single thing off. I can get it. If your quarterback misses 1 game, 2 games in, the beginning part of the season, whatever it is, a healthy quarterback's the most important thing in football. And Dak Prescott being healthy is the most important thing with the Dallas Cowboys this upcoming season. Take it from a Packers fan. Mike McCarthy, I get it. Losing Kellen Moore, I get it. Didn't make much sense at the time. It still doesn't make much sense. I get some caution with Mike McCarthy and this offense, but he is a Super Bowl champion. He did get my Green Bay Packers a Super Bowl. So at the end of the day, Dallas on paper is freaking loaded. I mean, they're freaking loaded. They have a top 5 offense. They have a top 5 defense, undisputed. You just can't dispute it. If they're healthy, specifically on the offense, the defense is just so talented. But if Dak Prescott and the offensive line can stay healthy, the Cowboys are going to win a bunch of football games. And they're going to compete for a Super Bowl. I don't care about the division. I get it. You want to win the division. You want to take down Philly. But if you just get into the playoffs, you have as good of a chance as anybody else in the playoffs. You want to hit your stride. You want to start peaking as a team when the regular season ends. So just make the playoffs. And to me, I don't see a world where Dallas doesn't make the playoffs this upcoming season. So as far as I'm concerned, they're certainly a Super Bowl threat. In fact, they're probably one of my top 5 picks to win the Super Bowl this upcoming season. That's it for today. I know Cowboys fans, don't want to jump the gun. I get it. There's some caution in the air, but optimism. There's a lot of hype. There's a lot of talent on this team, but I get it. We want to see it live in action. We'll believe it when we see it. I get it. But I'm excited for this Cowboys team. Thank you for watching today's video. If you guys enjoyed it, be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. And yeah, if you want more Cowboys videos, let me know down below in the comment section. But let me know how you're feeling about this Cowboys team in the comments. Peace.